So the first step of getting access to Google Analytics 4 is installing the actual code onto your website. So there are a couple of ways to do this. If you're brand new to Google Analytics and you've not used Universal Analytics, when you Google Analytics, you'll be greeted with this page, which gives you insights into what Google Analytics is and the benefits that it can provide your business. You'll then need to click this Get Started Today link, and it'll take you through a form and process where you provide the information about your business, and it takes you through the steps of setting up. However, if you have used Google Analytics 4, which I imagine a lot of you have, then you will see a page like this within your properties, and then you'll have this button here to click Create Property. So what we'll do now is we'll go through this flow of where you click the Create New Property journey, and I'll show you how to create a new GA4 property. So first, when you click Create a New Property, you're asked to give in a few details, and the details you see here will be very similar to the details that you're asked when you're a new customer and you go through the new flow. So first will be property name. So I'll call this Analytics Test. And property naming really just depends on what it is that you're trying to track. So if you're trying to track the website, many people just put in the domain name of the website, or you can simply put in the business name. It's entirely up to you what you want to call it. So I'm going to click next. And then we have business details. So you have to select an industry. So I will select computers and electronics for mine, small, and then next. And then business objective. So this is a fairly new feature where Google Analytics 4 will ask you, what is the objective of your business? What are you trying to achieve? Is it an e-commerce business? Are you a lead generation business? You're trying to raise brand awareness, examine user behavior, or get baseline reports. So I believe most scenarios you're going to be choosing these two, whether you want to capture leads, being a service business or being an e-commerce business. These are probably the majority of your choices. So in my case, I'm going to choose generate leads. Cool. So now you can begin to start collecting data once you complete this step. And the unique feature of Google Analytics 4 is that you have the ability to capture web data, app data, or both within one property. And you have to simply create a data stream for each type of data type, and it will all come into one property, similar to how you used to track app and web data within Universal Analytics. So we'll choose web data, and now we need to enter in the URL. So I'm going to enter in the URL for my website, which is analytics.co.uk, and we'll call the stream name the same as the property name. Well, in fact, we'll just keep it Walk Analytics. Cool, and then create a stream. So now you're given the information that you need in order to actually implement Google Analytics onto your website. There are two ways that you can do this. One is by implementing the G tag, the Google tag, directly onto your website, or the second method is through doing it through Google Tag Manager. My preferred preference is always doing it through Google Tag Manager because I just think it's cleaner and easier to manage multiple tags when you use a tag management platform like GTM. So we'll be doing it via this method within this video. So all we need in order to do it within Google Tag Manager is this measurement ID, which is right here. So let's copy that. So now I have my Google Tag Manager container, which has already been pre-built. And what I'm going to do now is create a tag for GA4 so that I can send data to the new property that I have just created. So I'm going to click add a new tag, and we'll use the GA4 configuration tag. And all you simply need to do is paste your measurement ID here. So now what this tag will do is that every time it fires on a page view, once I include the trigger, page views and the general out of the box metrics will all be captured and sent to Google Analytics 4. So I need to create a trigger. We'll do all pages for this example, and then I'll name my tag. So I'll call it GA4 configuration all pages. And I already have a tag, so I'll call it GA4 test configuration all pages. Great. So now I will quickly preview that just to make sure it works. Great, and now we can see that the GA4 test configuration tag has fired right here, which is exactly what we wanted. So we can close this now and simply submit the changes and call it GA4 test. And we can publish this change. Great, so now if we return to Google Analytics, we can simply close this and then click next and then click continue to home. So with Google Analytics 4, the data actually appearing within your reports will take about 48 hours to process. It does take longer time than it used to in Universal Analytics. However, you should still see real-time data within the real-time report. So what we'll do now is we'll move over to a property that already has some data, just so you can see a good example of what a fully running GA4 property actually looks like. Great, so now what we can see here is the GA4 merchandising shop. So this is the demo account for Google Analytics 4, and this is a property that has lots of data and has been running for a while. So what we agreed here initially is the home screen. So we can see lots of out-of-the-box data within this screen. So you can see the count of users that have been tracked on this website over the last 7 days, with the number of events that have been captured, the count of conversions, and the count of new users as well. It says 7 days, but you can change this to multiple date ranges. So if you want to look at just today so far, you can. If you want to look at 28 days, 90 days, you can change the date range, and then the report will amend accordingly. You also have a screen here for real-time users. So the real-time report includes data that was recorded within the last 30 minutes. So you can see there were 59 users in the last 30 minutes, and you can see the country that they came from and the total count by country as well. You're also shown shortcuts to different reports across Google Analytics 4. So you have the recently accessed section here, which takes you through conversion paths that I previously viewed before, model comparison, and all other reports that you view within the property will be shown here. You also have other reports that are suggested for you to view, so that Google Analytics 4 thinks might be useful for yourself, which includes, in this case, a breakdown of sessions by the default channel grouping. You have users by country ID, and a similar card to the above, but focusing on just events. So mostly on events. You have event count of users, event per user, etc. So in this instance, insights and recommendations aren't appearing for the account, but on the screen I'll show you an example of what you typically would see with an account that does have insights and recommendations enabled.